Good afternoon, everyone. This is Maria.
This is Tim.
Today is Tuesday, March the 27th, 2018. Welcome to our daily recap.
Hi, everybody. Before we get started, I want Maria to go ahead, if she will, go ahead and give us those closing numbers.
Sure. The Dow was down 344 points, closed at 23,857. NASDAQ was down 211 points, closed at 7,008. And the S&P 500 was down 45 points, closed at 2612.
Today, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to be talking about shorting stocks a little bit, why we shorted today, what caused that, what caused us to do it, what caused, in our opinion, the whole market to turn around. Because yesterday, everybody's riding high. We're all bulls. Rah, 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 go bulls. No matter what you bought yesterday, you kicked ass. So today it looked like we were going to gap up, do the same thing. We were all, swinging Nvidia, which we sold, early this morning. A couple people, Maria, I know you and Namish, a couple of people held on to some or may even bought some later in the day for Investor Day. But for the most part, the swings, we got out pretty early. I got out of mine at 9:07, I think. I bought at 4:47. Then I had to watch it go up in the 11s, but that was okay. It was still a nice swing. Then I had a Facebook trade that went against me, which was my fault. I was kind of chasing Facebook anyway. Again, we're not perfect traders. Um, so that went against me. But I do want to talk about why we went short today. This is one of the reasons we like to stay 70 to 80% cash and not ever be overly invested. And we'll show you how our day ended as well. Maria did very well for us. But we want to start off talking about Nvidia and looking at what time this all started happening. Maria, go ahead and give us the headline on Nvidia also, and then let's look at what time this started and compare it to some other charts as well.
Absolutely. So the headline on Nvidia today was they suspended their self-driving vehicle tests. It's a temporary suspension. So this was in response to last week's fatal collision of the self-driving Uber car with a pedestrian. This is what the company said in response. And basically what they're saying is that they are temporarily suspending the testing of self-driving cars on public roads to learn from the Uber incident. The company did say that our global fleet of manually driven data collection vehicles continues to operate. So for me, keyword temporary, temporary. Um,
And
but yeah, definitely
but
did not do well for Nvidia.
before we get started, we're not bearish Nvidia. We're actually long-term bulls on Nvidia, but we have to trade what the market gives us. And any company we mentioned today doesn't make us a bear bull on it. We're just, again, traders trading something. So we're not those people, oh man, you suck, you're bashing our stock. We're not bashing any stock, right? We're playing the trends. And like I
Yeah.
say, Maria was actually long going into this investor day, even after we sold swings this morning. So Maria, pull up the time on this chart when Nvidia started having problems, and we're going to start tying some things together.
Sure. And guys, the only reason I held that, and here's the thing is I was holding several contracts of Nvidia. I had multiple strikes, multiple expirations, and I was extremely green. I sold everything but one this morning right after this high day. I held on to one for the investor day just in case. But the main thing I want to point out is that the reason I decided to hold that one was that even if that one were to have gone to zero, if I'd let it drop to zero, I still would have been extremely green on Nvidia. And also, just to kind of reinforce what Tim said, we are long-term bulls on Nvidia. Nvidia is my favorite company. It's my favorite stock. Anyone in our room will tell you that. I love Nvidia, not bearish, but I will play whatever direction she gives me.
And
So
actually,
the
you bought the dip and are swinging some Nvidia. So
Yep.
she's actually swinging some Nvidia. So, which
So
I certainly didn't do.
right, and I did. It's one contract. I bought a little bit further out. Um, and again, even if that one contract, if that goes against me, I'm still extremely green on Nvidia. In addition
Uh,
to
uh,
the swing, I scalped it short. So, um, you know, we we definitely like Nvidia long term. So we are not bearish or bullish. We just play whatever direction we're given. So the timing on that was right here. Here are those three candles. On my platform, it's showing 10:57 a.m.
I
But
want you to go ahead and pull up after that one. Let's remember 1057. Go ahead and pull up. Let's pull up LRCX.
so LRCX, here's the chart. Let me zoom in a little bit. So LRCX started to dip too. Those same three candles still came in a little bit later. Actually,
Um, yeah.
LRCX, we saw that same similar dip. Actually, here we go. I am way behind. Here are the candles I'm looking for. Sorry, guys, it's been a long day. Here are those three candles, 11:05. So we said 10:57 on Nvidia's chart. Those same three candles, the same pattern, starting on LRCX 11:05.
Pull up MU.
So here is MU. Here are those three candles, 11:05. I'll try to zoom that in a little
So
bit more so you can see it.
so those are happening at 11:05. Now we didn't go short Nvidia as soon as those original three red candles at 10:57. Maria and some other people are holding for Investor Day, so they're actually still rah, right? So, but you started to see a pattern come in. LRCX, MU. Let's go ahead and pull up one more. Let's go ahead and pull up. Let's go ahead and pull up Microsoft as well, real quick, Maria,
Absolutely.
and then QQQ. I still want to tie this together.
So here is Microsoft again, 11:05.
11:05. So you had LRCX, MU, Microsoft. Pull up QQQ.
Let's see. Right here, same candles. Let me go back. Right here, 11:05.
11:05. So it's settling in with us for a few minutes. It's like we're all still rah Nvidia Investor Day. And 8 minutes later, after you had those three candles, you're starting to see it in MU, LRCX, Microsoft, QQQ. So at this point, it's not just tied to Nvidia, right? So still, nobody's freaking out yet. We're still kind of going, well, you know, market dip. We had barely just hit low of day on the Qs and stuff, and Nvidia started to hit low of day. LRCX and several other things started hitting low of day. Tesla, which go ahead and pull up the Tesla short chart too, Maria.
Here's the Tesla chart. Um, and yeah, Tesla was directly impacted by the Nvidia news, obviously. But again, 11:04, or I'm sorry, 11:05. Those three candles still
And
there.
look at where support was. Look at where support was on Tesla. I mean, it was already down on the day, but look at where the support was going across there.
So I flipped it over to a 5 day or five, not 5 day, 5 minute chart just to kind of give you a clearer picture. Here's the level of support
Yeah,
right
and
here.
so Tesla's looking decent. And we're not picking on Tesla, right? But this is the one that, as a group, and I know Maria and a couple more had already been short Tesla earlier than everybody else. But when everything started falling apart together, and everybody's like, shit, let's sell those Nvidia swings that, what was left or what we'd bought today. People were starting to bail out of Nvidia. Later on, Maria bought a swing, but, we can get into that later. But one of the first ones that we said, okay, because now all of a sudden everything's looking broad based to us. The Qs, Microsoft, and we're like, okay, are we going to give back yesterday's gains? Everybody was still a little unsure, but So we decided to take a shot on uh, Tesla here. And Maria, go ahead. Now, what was the price on when it broke support there?
So this, at least on the 5 minute chart, that price was 295.13.
Right. Now, it was probably down here, probably around 289. I think when the room started more getting into it, because again, that kind of happened real fast. We're still assessing everything as far as there was, like I say, a couple people were already short. Maria, you were one of them. I wasn't. We had talked about the short. Tyrex brought it up several times today, early this morning. We had even kidded around about it going to 275. Um, so go ahead and pull up an options chain.
Sure, let's see. And here is the options chain on Tesla.
So, everybody's really used to going on the left side. A lot of people just by nature are bullish. We want everything to work. We want nothing to fail, right? Oh man, we want stocks to go up. Unfortunately, that's not how it all works, right? And again, we're just not bears or anything, but I like to trade both sides of the market. Maria does. Stocks kicked ass today with an L-fin short. And there was another an ARWR he had puts on. So he was killing it all day, before all this market, meltdown a little bit. So Maria, you had said you were in the 280s, and I believe when we got in those, we got in at 397. Is that right?
Correct. It was
All
either
right. Now this is a
395 or 397.
yeah. So this was a little joint account venture that we had. We had originally bought five. She had meant to buy two. Again, this is a smaller account. This isn't our individual accounts. It's just something we mess with together from January 1st. Started with 10,000 in it. We wanted to be in the small account challenge for the room and everything else, and we both didn't have time to manage one, so we just did a joint one. So we had got in, and that was a little out of the money. The weekly's aggressive, right? But the way Tesla was going, hey, these 280s and the way the chart looks, let's go ahead and do that. So we picked, and like I say, it was out of the money at around 395, 397, and I think they hit around $8 today, if memory serves me right. So we first peeled off three. And we're up a little bit in the three, and then we had two left, and we were deciding, well, let's sell one more because it was up pretty nice and swing one, right? But it all started right here. And Maria, show us how that chain works.
So when I picked that 280, and I'm gonna go back to the chart. I was actually looking at a 1 year chart, and the way that Tesla was going, there was a lot of selling pressure, and I knew that we would be looking at support. In my mind, I had at least what I thought it was around between 278 to 280 is kind of where I remembered from from last year. And you can see over here on the left side of the screen, 278, and I think it might have actually cracked below that today. That was after hours. And actually, no, it did. It closed at 279.18, but at some point during the day, it did hit 277.17. So in my mind, I knew that there was room for it to continue down. With the way that Nvidia was responding to the news and the fact that Tesla also does do a lot with the autonomous driving, I knew, and they would be directly impacted. I decided to be a little bit more aggressive with the strike that I chose. So 280 was primarily because I knew that that's where, over a longer period of time, I knew that there was some kind of support close to that 280 level.
And now we were originally intended on holding these maybe an hour. So we weren't looking to expire with these on Thursday because the market's short week this week because we're closed for Good Friday. So all we had to do was catch a couple bucks and you're up in the contracts, right? Flip them, move on. But it kept going and going and going. So normally, and Maria, please pull back up the option chain.
Sure. Let's go back to it.
Normally, we wouldn't be that far out of the money on a weekly on a Tuesday, expiring Thursday. It was aggressive. Normally, we would have played, you know, maybe a 287.50 because, like I say, it was around 289 when we actually made this call as a room, not for the people that were already in it, but as a joint venture to get everybody in. So normally we'd have probably played that at the money, or maybe even slightly in the money at 290, 287.50. In this situation, it ended up being a great strike, and we are swinging this. But what we want y'all to know and realize is it's not just about the left side of this chart, right? There's this right side of this chart that you just got to look at things the same exact way. Like Maria just said, she could look at that yearly and say, all right, here's support, here's resistance, blah blah blah. So she can look at that and say, okay, boom, boom, and it's a split second decision. Now, again, it was a little aggressive out of the money on a Tuesday at lunch with Thursday expiring. So before y'all start beating us up on that, we don't care. Hey, some of those contracts hit 100%, so it's fine with us. Um, Bash all
Right.
you want. It was a little aggressive, and normally, like I say, maybe a 287.50. That is the safer play. We get that, but the main thing we want to show you guys right now is how to use this and why. So if Tesla's trading at 288, 289, and you think it can go to 275, then you're just, because how many times do you guys that are just playing the bull side, sit there and go, wow, man, that looks like it could drop to 275, but you do nothing about it. You just sit there. You do absolutely nothing about it that day. Or you see the cues start to fall apart, where you're like, man, I bet Amazon could drop $60. You'll play it bull side, but you won't play it bear side. And we're not trying to talk you into anything. If you're not comfortable shorting, don't short. But if you want to learn about it, we had about 30 people today say, man, we got to get caught up on trading these puts like everybody else. And we had several today that their first put was today. And I was proud of each and every one of them. Seraphim got his first put, so way to go, Seraphim! And it was on Tesla here, and he made a few $100 and cut it. So normally, like I say, the stock was around 289. So you would look at this and go, okay, where do I think it can go? And then you got to pick your expiration. In this case, we got up weeklies. So you do it just basically the same way that you would go long. Where it's okay. I think Microsoft is going to 95 and it's at $90, right? And so you grab some 92.50s, out to April or something, and you think they got ER and it's going to $100. You're playing it safe. You got some 92.50s there. And if it's trading at 91, that's probably the strike, or maybe at the money or in the money on Microsoft. You'd grab some 90s. It's just the same thought process, except in this situation, you're going, wow, the market's trying to turn over here. And everything points to it was led by Nvidia, just like it was on June 9th of 2017. That whole market day was Nvidia, Nvidia, Nvidia. Nvidia led the way. Today, Nvidia led the way for chips, LRCX, MU. All those companies started going down. The Q started following. Microsoft and Apple started following. All of tech started following. And it all started with Nvidia and autonomous cars. And we say this all the time. You're one tweet away or one news event away from everything unraveling. So try to stay 70 to 80% cash so you can play these, when these events happen, you can jump in there and play puts as well. And look at the Qs. I mean, same thing. Look at Microsoft today, $6. Pull that up, Maria. I mean, I think you already have, but let's look at that again. I mean, everything Microsoft got yesterday, it just gave back. And if you're not just a perma bull, you can look at that and say, you know what? The whole market's rolling over. Let's grab. I
That
think
is a
Microsoft was
wow. Look at that.
$94.
Um,
Yeah, I think it was 94 this morning.
I
You
did
could have
not.
easily grabbed
Yeah.
some
Sorry.
92.50s and wrote it out. It's the same thought process. You're just looking at the right hand side. Now, long term, would I went Microsoft puts? No, absolutely not. I don't think this is long-term thing that we're dealing with here. Although the market's very finicky, this is makes 3 out of 4 days that it's being really finicky. I mean, yesterday was good. But yeah, look at Microsoft. Some 92.50s. You got paid. You caught that market starting to, and it wasn't just Nvidia. At this point, it was a contagion. It was like a flu virus. It had spread from Nvidia to MU, LRCX, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla. There wasn't anything safe. And it all started with that Nvidia cold bug, right? But it took us a while to put everything together in the room. Listen, we're not rocket scientists or perfect traders either. It was a few minutes before we're all going, hey, hey, shit, damn, what do you do? What are you thinking? What's going on? Oh, Nvidia self-driving cars. We're still in Nvidia bulls at this time. Which, like I say, Maria did pick up, which God bless her. I wish I'd have had the balls to do it. I didn't. She picked it up. I didn't. I would have picked up some further dated Nvidia on that drop, Maria. I mean, I think that was the right play to do. I didn't do it. I had already had my mind made up that I wasn't buying anything today. And like I told people in the room, let's wait and see how we open tomorrow. I'd rather pay a little bit more tomorrow than to buy too early today. I just want to make sure that the flu virus is cured.
Right.
Um, to start buying some long-term positions. I think you made a good play there with Nvidia. But, as far as going short, people have got to remember there are two sides to this market, and you can make it going up or down. Maria, show the account today. And we showed you guys this last Wednesday. It was 19.3 or 19.6. As you can see, we had a little loss in Nvidia in that account. Still holding pin. We should have got rid of it. Bought PayPal yesterday. As you can see, down 40% on that today. That's fine. Look at this. Tesla. We're still swinging one. We're up 338 in that one. We made 850 bucks there, but look at the Qs. 47.50. And now that account's net liquid 26,564. This same account that was at 19,000 last Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, again, this isn't to say, hey, look at us. We're so cool. You suck. No, we're not perfect traders. As you can see in here, UPS down 83%. That's not a perfect trade, right? Penn
No.
down 55%. We had to cut our, today, we cut Twitter that we bought yesterday. We had to cut Twitter. Again, not perfect traders. Andrew left shorted Twitter. Actually, I got a little short off Twitter myself today, not long after that he made that announcement. So we had to cut Twitter. Wasn't a huge loss there, 70 bucks it looks like. But she was able to go in and just kick serious ass short in the Q. She just went with the whole QQQ instead of picking on, she did pick on Tesla. And I know in her own account she had Amazon. Maria, go over the list that you had went short.
So today I shorted the Qs. Obviously, I scalped all day. Tesla I was short. Amazon I shorted. Although Amazon I could have held it a lot longer and I did not. So it was a small scalp, but I still did short it. SPY I shorted and Nvidia. So granted, again, I'm an Nvidia bull. I love Nvidia, but I'm gonna play the direction. If I see range, especially like the range that we were seeing today, I'm playing that range. And that's what I did. So, yeah, I picked up a call and it is actually red right now, that call is, because it dropped quite a bit more after I bought it. But because I was playing that short side, and because I had sold my swing way earlier in the day, um, I ended the day really green on Nvidia. So guys, and this is why, and I'll pull the account back up. This is why we keep showing you this stuff, right? Because in the room, Tim, I know you get DMs. I get DMs all the time where people are really stressed out. They're like, the market is moving against me. Um, I don't know what to sell. I don't know what to do. And, this is where you have to know or understand or keep in mind that there's multiple ways to make money in the market, right? Like
I agree
on
more.
the day, and this is only half the account. We have other positions from A through N. We have other positions, and almost every single one of those are red. What I did was I focused on the Qs and on that Tesla in this particular account. to offset whatever we were losing. And eventually I put a screen on the day. But again, it's
And
because we were not heavily invested. Yes, we have multiple positions. Yes, they're red, but they're very small positions. The majority of the account stays cash. Having that cash there available lets me do this.
if you'd been fully invested in Microsoft, Twitter, and IBM, we could have never done that. We just
Jeez.
took a hit.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, can you imagine? And this is why we like to preach. If you're listen, if you're an investor and you're 30 years old and you're not planning on selling this shit till you're 60, hey, ride this shit out. Right on, party down. That's cool. If you're listening to this because you're a trader should never be over 70 or 80 20 or 30% invested in the market. Keep 70 or 80% in cash so you can make those moves. This isn't to brag and say, look at us. Look at all those losing trades in there. Look at it. We're not perfect. But what we are good enough to do is to say, hey, when this shit happens and the account's starting to turn red, there's a reason. Let's figure out the reason and let's offset this. And in this case, we turned to, a green day. But I do believe if just going back to those candles at 1057, this whole thing was started by Nvidia, followed by LRCX, MU, Microsoft, Apple. You look at the charts on all of them, and it was everybody caught the flu. Now we were up a lot yesterday, so you didn't need much of a reason for everybody to want to get sick and run anyway. But if that's the case, don't fight it. There's no need of sitting in there and going, oh man, I'm going to go buy all the Tesla I can. I'm buying all the Microsoft I can. Short it. Short the shit. You can go long again tomorrow, but follow the direction. And you could tell just by how much we were up yesterday. It wasn't going to take much, right? Just to get everybody back in that sick mode. And again, not to pick on Tesla, that seemed like an easy target because they had a crash too that's getting investigated. They need money. Production numbers are going to be down in what their deliveries to Norway, which is a big customer. So again, an easy target, not because it's a bad company. I'm not knocking the company. I hope they're around in the next 100 years, way after Elon's dead. Hope they're around for 300 years. Great. Today, they were a big play. Yesterday, Nvidia was a big play. So if we can find one big play a day, we're all gold, right? Yesterday was Nvidia. Today's Tesla. But look at those options chains and look at it. Ask us any questions. If you don't understand, hey, which one should I play? Should it be at the money, in the money, out of the money? And preferably, we like to keep people ATM at the money or ITM in the money. In this case, we went OTM, which is out of the money, because we felt like there was a lot more room to drop here. Again, ask us any questions. We'll be glad to go over that options chain with you and help you. And we talked in the room, throughout the day. This is an Nvidia contagion. Nvidia started this. I know I will get hate mail over this. Nvidia didn't crash the whole market. Blah blah blah. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. 10:57. Look what happened 5 minutes later. I've seen the same thing happen June 9th, and Nvidia did start the whole thing that day as well. You know, it's a sentiment thing. And God,
Yeah.
Tesla's down after hours there, Maria.
Yeah, it hit a low of 271. So I'm actually happy that we swung that one. That's going to be really nice tomorrow. That should be pretty.
That should be pretty tomorrow. So, again, we sold three pretty quick, really probably too quick, but we did realize short week, hey, we have five. Let's cut three. We held one. So I think we sold that one like 279.80, somewhere around there. Let's swing one. It's free. Nothing's, I don't want to say it's free because once your account is green, it's yours, right? So it's yours to lose or keep or let go red. So, but we did swing it. I hate to use the word free though, just because you're green a contract doesn't mean it's free. You still worked for it. That's your contract. It's your
Absolutely.
money. You're green. You earned it. You worked for that money. In the casino, I won $1,000 on a hand of blackjack. It's not house money. That's Tim's money. I have won that fucking money. So if I give it back to them, I didn't give them their money back. No, I gave them my money because it was already on my side of the table. So if I give it back to them, I didn't give them their money back. I gave them my fucking money. But anyway, that's another story. And Maria, I did want to talk about Gurn as well. I've got a conference call that's scheduled for right now that I'm going to send them a text to give me just a few minutes. They can go ahead and start. Gurn, we talk about you're always a text away, right? Anything can happen. A tweet, a
Oh
text.
man.
In this case, Gurn, which I actually like. I mean, Gurn has been kicking ass. We got some DMs about it. Probably some people mad. Hey, listen, I can't help that Adam F sends out a tweet about Gurn, just like I can't help that Donald Trump sends out a tweet about steel tariffs, right? We don't control outside forces in this market. We do good to just manage our own account. But in this case, Adam F sends out a tweet, Maria, and you might want to go over that real quick with us.
He
I'm going to
actually
go ahead
issued
and
a
send.
report. He actually issued a report. I don't know. I actually have not had a chance to read the report itself, but I know that Gurn was down on his report. Um, it popped up a little bit after hours. I don't know if there's any associated news. Let's check and see. Flimsy survival claims. So that is what Adam F talked about. I don't know if I'm sure a lot of you, especially if you watch bios and you're on Twitter, you're probably following him already. I keep an eye on his tweet. So he said that the stocks rally since January is based on flimsy survival claims, which obviously caused a reaction in Gurn. Now, I was with Tim. I was loving the action. I was loving, the trend that it was showing. I hate that it got hit today. Not sure what this little bounce was after hours, but it looks like it started to give it back. This kind of stuff is why we tell everybody to, especially if you're trading equities or even with options, if you're up in a position and you're nervous or you just want to protect yourself, you can put in a stop order. Now, granted, it's not going to help you
Absolutely.
pre-market or after hours, but intraday, it will protect you. It will get you out at the price that you're wanting out. So just another reminder, you can use stop orders. And like Tim said, we can only do due diligence with the information that we have. An article like that coming out from Adam F, who he's a prominent social, he's a prominent figure, especially in the bio world. When it comes to writing articles and stuff like that, it's kind of like Andrew Left coming out with a report. The stock is going to
That
react.
stock is going to react every time. Yeah, he's not just some short selling troll. Well, some may say, that may be debatable, but I mean, he is taken very seriously, and that's what happened to Gurn. I mean, Gurn, I think, was going to keep kicking ass. Unfortunately, it didn't get to over that. So we can't control market conditions. We can't control Adam F. We can't control Donald Trump. We do well just to control ourselves. Like I said, remember, we are trained non-professionals, right? Highly trained
Exactly.
non-professionals. So that's just doing the best we can. And again, I just want to go over. I do think this was all Nvidia related. Will we bounce November 10th? I believe. I mean, I'm sorry, June 10th after that holiday on June 9th. I think we did bounce that day. It just depends. The market's jittery. I have no idea what it wants to do. Um, can't predict that. All I can say is we'll wake up and trade it tomorrow. If it's long, we'll be long. If it's short, we'll be short. I might not have a winning day, but it's not that I'm going to be fighting a trend. I'm not going to be fighting. The market wants to be up 500 points. I'm not just going to be shorting everything just because. Not that I wouldn't, take some shots here or there, but, ride the trend. Microsoft's going up. Oh, Microsoft's going down. Short Microsoft. I'm not in love with any of these things. It's just not my thing. Gurn, Maria, did you have, let's see, something else we were going to talk about?
Twitter. We were going to talk about
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, Andrew left. I mean, so again, we bought Twitter. Was it yesterday or was it actually maybe in last week?
I will check while you're
It
talking.
was last. It was last week because we had bought. It was like 32.30. We had bought 33s, and we're
You're right.
actually in the money for a few minutes. and it had dropped Thursday and Friday. We actually rode that out. Um, then today, I thought Twitter was still handling the market pretty well, especially with everything that Facebook had done, which I want to touch on in a minute as well. Um, so here comes Andrew Left, says Twitter. Now remember, he was a bull a couple months ago. We all wrote it from 25, 26. He put a $35 price target out there, which it hit today. He's a bear. So he went from bullish, it's going to get bought out, to bearish. Oh my God, they suck. So we did sell our Twitter today. Like I say, did catch a little short on Twitter, nothing major. I didn't hold it near long enough, which was my fault. But then again, I didn't know the market was going to get this crazy today too. Facebook, let's pull that chart up, Maria. And they said they could give me a few minutes here.
Here is Facebook. Here's the daily. I scalped it long this morning. I did not play the short side today on Facebook. I was wrapped up in Nvidia and a couple others, Apple, Tesla, SpyQs, and I did not get a chance to short Facebook. That would have been a gorgeous short, $12, between the high and the low of the day. So yeah, we scalped it early. We played some weeklies, got just a little bit on this little uptrend right here, this little move right there, but very short-lived. Got out of that and didn't go back to it.
I actually chased Facebook, and I hate to say that, I actually chased something, but when I bought it, it was like 161 and change. I was up for a few minutes, maybe five, um, and then it hit that peak, and then I didn't really get on hopium. I lost a couple $100, got out of the trade. So yeah, I got caught in that one too. But that's another one. Now, Facebook, go ahead and pull up the 1157. I just want to see where it was and where it was holding. The 1057 our time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Let's look at that.
Those three
So that
candles,
would
right?
have been somewhere around here. That's 51. So here's that same time period. Let me expand that just a little bit more. So that's 1107.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah,
1105. Down,
yeah. So
red candle, but still um, that same trend, right? This candle here looks more like a doji, but red, this candle and then this red one here. So still that same pattern.
so Facebook was actually, because they keep getting news. Is Zuckerberg going to testify? Is he not? Now he said fuck off England. He's not testifying there, and blah blah blah. We've seen Facebook pull this move the last few days where it actually goes red, then pops green at the end of the day, right? So there again, didn't know how Facebook was going to end, but when all that Nvidia and everything else came out, that gave Facebook just the excuse it needed to go ahead and sell off again. So now we'll be watching that for support in that. I believe it's 149.03 the other day, Maria. If memory serves me correctly, I believe it's 149.03 yesterday or Friday. That was the low. I can't remember which day.
149.02,
That
pretty close.
149.02. Okay, so yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So we will be watching that to see if that will hold. We had a couple things after hours that were pretty good though. RH, Restoration Hardware, it was kicking some serious ass. If you want to pull up that after hour scanner.
Yeah. There's the after hours scanner RH. They had ER. So let me expand this out just a little bit. What was interesting is that I'm pretty sure that they missed on their revenue and they guided down on rev. They either guided down or they straddled. Um, so it was definitely EPS beat, but I tend to look at that rev number a little bit closer. Q4 they reported 670.3 million on rev, and the consensus was 672.61, so barely a miss. Their guidance for the next quarter, they guided 555 million to 565 on a consensus of 591.42 million. So that was definitely a slight guide down. They cut their full year 18 revenue view as well. I guess the CEO, this was the one thing that I did see that could be why RH continued to move. They plan to pivot the company back to growth in 2019.
I'm not even sure I know how to react to that, but um, hey, rock and roll RH. Because yeah, I'm looking at some things here too, and I'm going, wow, there's okay. Hey, RH moves after ERs, so God bless them. Lulu, we all love their pants. I mean, I don't wear them. I love to see them. Um, so Lulu, let's pull that up.
Sure. Let me get the ticker. Here we go. Right there.
I wonder how
So
today
Lulu,
affects Elon's package.
that's a good question. I'm sure it's
I mean, if
probably
the
not
stock
doing
goes
that
under
great.
$300, does it fuck up his package?
It
I'm just curious.
possibly could. It possibly
They just
could.
voted on that package last week, and now the stock's tanking after his package got
Yeah.
unanimously approved. Oh well, Lulu.
So Lulu, number one, total comp sales across all segments up 12%. Phenomenal. They beat on rev. Q4 rev was 928.8 on a consensus of 911 million. EPS beat 133 versus 127 was the consensus. They see Q1 at 612 million to 617 million on a consensus of 585.9 million. Nice guide up. They guided up on the EPS as well, 44 cents to 46 cents. Their full year was also up. They guided up on the full year. And the one thing that I kind of wanted to look into was was this headline right here. Inventories at full year 17 end rose 10%. So normally, increased inventory can not always, can sometimes have a negative effect, but I guess Lulu is not really caring. And here's what the CEO said, or COO said. They see strong momentum heading into 2018.
Right on. I like to see as many of those pants out there as possible. So rock on, Lulu. Is there anything else on the scanner? Let me look real quick. Um, Nothing that's getting me just totally excited there. RH has the most volume, followed by Lulu, obviously. APC's up 3%. Yeah, I mean, APC's a little move there on some decent volume.
Mhm.
Um,
I didn't really see anything else. BlackBerry's on there. They have ER in the morning. That could definitely get interesting. I'm
BlackBerry's
actually excited to see
interesting.
their
We
ER.
love BlackBerry. Yeah, I'm excited about BlackBerry as well.
WBA. Isn't WBA in the morning as well?
No idea.
There's
No
sometime
idea.
this week. I know that much. So I'll double check on that as well. They're up on some volume. Not a huge move, but nice volume for after hours. AUY, a gold play, JNUG up. So, um, miners, gold moving. Looks like up a little bit at least. Kara's on there.
Yeah, cars on there. So again, just a quick recap for anybody in the room. If you're having trouble with that options chain and you want us, look, you can always ask us. We will be happy to hold your hand through your first short, your second short, your fifth short, your 10th short, whatever.
Absolutely.
We're happy to to do that together. So ask questions. Ask us about that options chain. Ask us if something's breaking support. Ask us where that next level is. That's what we're here for. Let's all make money together, both ways, up or down. We don't care.
Exactly.
Um, you know, just so the motorcycle rides, right?
Right. I
Let's go.
agree. I'm skimming
And
through I was skimming through some of this stuff, sorry.
oh, you're good. That's all I had. We just want the room to ask us questions. Let us know if you have any. We are there to help that. So
Absolutely. And again, guys, I know we did things a little bit differently today. We kind of wanted to address the whole playing the short side, playing volatile days. What we did today, how we were able to, identify a trend across multiple tickers and profit off of it. Just like Tim said, it's okay to go short. I've actually had people um, tell me that they didn't want to short because they liked the company. Um, I
I've
mean,
heard that too. I
I
get
get
that a lot
it.
too.
I understand, but at the same time, it's okay to short. It's
And,
okay
and
to
here's the
short.
next one. The next one I get, it's like, But man, when the market turns, those shorts get buried. Sure, when the market turns, those bulls get buried. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, it works both ways.
Yep.
You're playing options. You can't lose what's not in the middle. You can only lose your premium. It's not like you're shorting some $2 biotech stock that Merck buys out for 20. Yeah, you're fucked, right? But this is options. It's a little different. Obviously, options has its own risk. But remember, if I buy a $5 contract, that's my max loss. It's $500. That's it. That's it. That's my max loss. So if it turns and the contract goes worthless, great. Same thing happens. You can buy, as you've seen on some of those positions, you can buy a $500 bullish contract that goes worthless,
Yep.
because the bears are in control. So you're only going to lose what's in the middle max, right? But if you're actually good with your stops, or, prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance, you can always cut. I mean, you might not cut perfect, but you can cut. Um, and
Absolutely.
Maria said something a minute ago about stop losses. A stop won't always get you out exactly where you want. I mean, it will trigger it. Like if you've got a stop at $4 on a stock, we're not talking about options here. It will trigger at $4. Sometimes it might actually fill you at 405. Sometimes it might be 390. Could be
Yep.
375, but it's going to
It
trigger.
could be.
At least you know
Whatever.
you're in the right zone, right?
Right. It'll fill out whatever the next best available market price is. So
Yep.
again, stop is just a variation of a market order. You're setting a price at which your order triggers, and basically what you're saying is, Mr. Broker, if the stock trades through this price, I want you to go ahead and get me out as fast as possible. Don't care where it fills, whether it's a little bit up or below this price, just get me out. So
Right.
again, it's great to use them as protection. If I'm trading stock, Tim will tell you I refuse to do it without a stop. My stop goes in almost as soon as I am filled.
Right. And for those
So
of you that go,
yeah.
oh man, Joe Bob said when you put in a stop, Mr. Market Maker comes in and gets it. Let me explain something to you. Your three contracts of Tesla, the market maker didn't spend $250,000 to come down there and fuck you out of three contracts of Tesla. I promise that didn't happen. I
No.
promise you that didn't happen. It just didn't fucking happen. Okay. Joe Bob's wrong. Anyway, Maria, I've got to jump
Mhm.
on conference
Yeah,
calls. I need to bounce.
and that's
That's
all
all
we
I
have
had.
for tonight. Guys, thanks for listening in. Let us know what you think about this format. If you like it, let us know. As always, please subscribe to our channel. Please share a video. We will see you again tomorrow. Have an awesome, awesome night. And stay green tomorrow. Take care. Good night.
Thanks, guys.